What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fast Trax Live. My name is Paul Abernathy, your host as always. Welcome to the Wednesday night stream. To all of my Fast Trax students and the people that are in our program, welcome and thanks for joining me here on this Wednesday. I know you could be anywhere in the world, but I appreciate you being here with me on Wednesday night. So some kind of housekeeping things. Down the hall and to the left is the bathroom, whichever hall you may be at. Okay, so if you got to go, feel free to go. Just don't go where you're at because it could get messy. But if you just need to go at any time, feel free to go. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Paul Abernathy. I'm the CEO and founder of Electrical Code Academy. And if you don't know who I am, where you been? I've been around for 32, coming up on 33 years teaching the National Electrical Code. I'm a moldy oldie, but I still love it every day. I still love working in the code and being able to help people understand the National Electrical Code. It's what I do. And so, again, I appreciate all of you who, again, take the time out of your busy day to join me all over the country. So I definitely want to start giving some shout outs to folks. Schwartzy, first in the room. Schwartzy's always the first in the room, even though he seems to always hit that emergency contact button in the chat room. I don't know what it is. It's at the top. They just keep clicking that thing. If you're in Fast Trax chat, then we come a-running. But unless I saw that it was Schwartzy, then I'm like, I'm not going to run because Schwartzy's already there. But that's our Fast Trax chat feature. Don't be afraid to use it. It's a great resource. Post your questions. Schwartzy's always there. And I appreciate him taking care of that for me. Rick, welcome. Dustin, James, David, double Davids, okay, CMECP in the house, welcome. Kyle, Karen, and Anthony, okay, Anthony, I believe Anthony down in Florida. So welcome, folks, to the stream. Look, don't be afraid to let me know you're here. Don't be shy. What's up, Leonard? Welcome. Give us a thumbs up. Appreciate it. I guess for some reason the stream likes this thumbs up thing. And if you've never joined before, be sure to subscribe. Sal, El Paso, Texas, right down the way. Again, thanks for joining. Red Dog's in the house. Corbin's in the house. Here we go. It's a happy birthday, Red. I don't know if I don't have happy birthday music. All I've got is We're one day closer to death, Red, but hey, it's all good. We can enjoy it. But happy birthday to you, my friend. Freeland is in the house. Thanks for joining me as well. Okay, let's talk about it tonight. Let me say real quick before I get started, next week we'll have a structured lesson, so make sure you mark it on your calendar. Next week, we're going to be venturing into multifamily. Okay, so we're going to be doing some calculations in multifamily, so make sure you mark your calendar. Now, this week we're doing some Q&A questions again, because I've got requests from students who are taking their exam within the next week to week and a half, and they said, Paul, please, I need more questions. So I'm going to appease them, and we're going to do some questions tonight. Also, I've got a new deck of PowerPoints that we're going to be digging into based on the Fast Tracks program, so that's exciting. So we're going to be doing that as well in the next couple weeks. So for those out there that are new to the channel, or maybe somebody that catches this on the replay, subscribe to the channel, because you never know what I'm going to do. Another thing that I'll be talking about for folks that have been asking me about it, and I've been digging a lot into it lately, is fault managed systems, fault managed protection systems and whatnot. And so we are going to be looking at that in the next couple weeks and videos. Hey, Francis Ward, Rewire, welcome, welcome, welcome. So again, you don't want to miss that, because I'm trying to get the people from Volt server to come on to a show. They have not returned my inquiry as of yet. Hopefully they change their mind. Otherwise, I'm gonna do it without them. So, might as well have their input. They were the kind of the people that started this whole fault managed protective systems and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're gonna be talking about 726 and 722 and all that, and some up and coming episodes as well, because again, this stuff is quite interesting. And from a guy that serves on code panels, it is very interesting type of technology that we're talking about. Adam, welcome. R. Magnuson with his little pinky wave. Welcome. All right. So first thing I'll say, as I always do, if you're chiming it up, folks, if any of you in the Fast Tracks program have a question about any one of the units that you're working on, just like always, go on and work it out in your text and then post it here, and we'll go look at it. Okay. Now, the rules are, if you've got something off the wall, you should have sent it to me ahead of time so I can put it together for a presentation. Otherwise, you're going to have to write your question based on what you're working on in the Fast Tracks program. That's what this is all about. And I look like I have jaundice tonight, but I don't. It's probably because I haven't changed the settings on it. I should have done that, but I didn't. I ain't worried about that. Emmanuel, welcome. Doing great, my friend. You're not late. You didn't miss anything. Just an opening introduction. And Banano 183, welcome and thanks for joining the stream. Okay. So what we're going to do, for those that aren't familiar, that are not in our program, I should also mention that we did have a delay. There was a purge to go in last night. It did not happen. So if anybody's course is over a year old, the purge is coming within the next couple of days. It just was too much to do, and we just didn't get to it. Sadly, oops, hold on here. I don't know what, I just clicked a button. Okay, sadly, we do not have an extension program anymore. So if the year course, it's over. Okay, just so you know. All right, so let's go on and look. So let's go into, so for those that are familiar, this is the 2020 edition of our Fast Tracks program. It is available for those out there who are not familiar with the program. Again, where you been? It's available in the 2017, 2020, and 2023. So the 2023 edition is a little different, because in the 2020 and 2017, you know how you students have to log in and let's see here, go down to the bottom right and go to the little green circle and all that stuff. We don't do that anymore with the 2023. There we email you your results. So it allows you to interact with us just by replying to the email and that type of thing if you have any questions. But that's totally something that is new for the 2023 edition, okay, for those that didn't know. All right. So we're going to look at some questions. Again, if anybody's got anybody that's visiting us that have any questions about the Fast Trax program, feel free to ask them. This is an open forum. This is why we made it public, so that you can ask any questions that you want here. But real quick, for those that do look and see, the questions that we're going to be looking at today, because I want to keep them fresh, is down here in your database where it says Fast Trax Professional Licensing Exams. You've got your normal material, but then we added this bonus material. Okay. So, yep, September 1st, we are definitely going to the 2023 edition, Leonard. Absolutely. You're McKinney? I'm in McKinney. Dude, we need to have lunch. So your people get with my people. I'll take you out to lunch. Let's see here. So this is your bonus material, and this gives you the instructions on how to do it. And this is your bonus online resource, and that's what we're going to be using today. The bonus material. So you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of questions in the 2020, in the 2023, but we're going to be giving you these bonus questions, okay? And the bonus questions also have a bunch of videos and a bunch of other good stuff, okay? So definitely worth the bonus. All right, so now when you click on this, you'll log in, you follow the instructions, and we'll come up with this. And here's the start of one of the databases, okay? All right. So let's get it in here, okay? All right, let's see here. Rick Vargas says, hello, not to take away from the class, but is there any way I can purchase one of the Fast Track classes and then get a letter grade for it? That is the only way my employer will pay for it. It's not a graded program. You go through the entire program, all 19 units, and you do all the units, then contact us and we're more than happy to give you a letter of completion. But you will get an overall average, and we can put that on there if that's what you want, but it's not a grading system. It's not designed to be for grading. But if that's what it takes and your employer wants some kind of grade, then when you're done, just reach out to me personally, and I will write up something that's a summary of your activity with your average, and then that you completed 19 units and that type of thing if that's necessary. I don't have a problem doing that for you. I just don't want everybody to think that it's automatic, that you just get a grade. This isn't really a graded content type of thing. This is a learning, preparing you to take an electrical exam type of process. All right, folks. So let's go on and get in again. So I have got my code book with me. These are on the 20. I believe this is going to be on the 2020. Yeah, these are 2020 questions today. Okay. Not big difference, 2023, 2020. We got to pick one of them. So today, since the majority of everybody's on 2020, we're going to use the 2020. Okay. I've got my code book. I've got my index because, again, as always, Link does not have index offerings. So, okay. Yeah. Oh, Mike Schwartzy got into the bonus database. Excellent. Maybe at the end, I'll show you some of the videos and stuff that's in there and some of the other little quickie quizzes like on transformers and motors. Yeah, folks, it's a serious database that we've added. And guess what? We didn't even raise the price. How you like that, Schwartzy? We didn't raise the price at all for that. Okay. Kept it the same, brother. I know you hardworking electricians out there. We want to give you as much content as we can. That's why we have the mobile app. That's why we have the chat, the Sparky Hub. That's why we have this new database that we added, trying to give you all kinds of stuff to help you be successful. Okay. All right. And in the 2023, we also added this soft skills module. So customer service, whatever. So that's pretty decent module as well. Okay. Didn't answer the question though, Corbin. So you got to give me an answer to the question. We'll go look. All right. All right. So normally I set the timer, right? All right. So let me get my clock out here. Let me get my timer for everybody so we can see how y'all do. And we'll dissect these. All right. Got my timer. Now, people ask me, when you're doing practice questions, so let me show you something. So this one happens to have a timer up here, right? I'm a bigger believer in doing timing directly. So on your phone, set a 2-minute timer. Because what you want to do is have the alarm go off after your 2 minutes, and then you see how long after the 2 minutes it actually takes you to find the answer. And that type of thing, okay? Also, I need to remind people that are submitting competency reviews, those that are in the Fast Tracks program, if you leave an NEC reference blank, I will mark it wrong, even if your answer is correct. So again, I'm going to employ you. No need to rush those in when you're doing them, okay? It's not like you're timed. Take your time, and if for some you can't answer, go back and search for it. Go back and search, okay? Because we want you to, don't click that submit button until you know you got the answer, and don't leave NEC references blank, otherwise we're just going to mark it wrong, okay? And you know what happens if you get what? If you get under 70, we're going to make you do it again. And sometimes doing it 2 times and 3 times or even 4 times is not a bad thing when you're trying to learn the NEC, okay? I'm just saying. All right, we got our timer. I got a lot of references on here, but nobody has yet answered the question, whether it's A, B, C, or D. We'll just do that, A, B, C, D. No answers yet. All I got is 2 different code references. So, all right, I'm going to start the timer. Y'all see it? I've given you more than enough time for this question. Let's go. And remember, if you have any questions on any of the units you're working on, make sure you put the unit, the cycle you're on, whether it's the 2017, 2020, or 2023 Fast Tracks, put the unit you're working on and the question within that unit, and we will go look at it, okay? You ain't got to copy the whole question. Just let me know the question, the unit, and what edition you're on, and I'll go look, and we'll answer that for you if you find something, okay? All right. So we got Leonard. Leonard's giving me an A. And so he says a metal water pipe that serves as a mobile home is the answer. Of course, I'm waiting for Corbin and Dustin since they gave me 2 different code references and both may be applicable. But we're going to see what's going on with this. But Leonard gave me an answer but didn't give me a code reference. Dustin gave me, okay. Dustin says A, metal water pipe that serves the mobile home. And Dustin gave me 770.106A2. Okay, we've got 52 seconds left. Again, remember, folks, this is for you. This is what people wanted to do this week, is to be able to let you look some code questions up and post it. Okay, Emmanuel says A. Okay, he says metal water pipe that serves as the mobile home. Okay. Remember the question, it says the ground for non-current carrying metal members of optical fiber cables entering a mobile home shall be what? So we're talking about the ground that you have to use, that connection. And remember, on some exams, the questions might not be that great. So you have to stretch on the question and read it. It might not be a perfect question. Corbin says D. Okay, so Corbin supports his by D, but all right. All right, there's our answer there. All right. I mean, there's our timers up. Okay. So Corbin says D, but then he changed his code reference. So we're going to have to go dissect this one, folks. Okay. So the question is, the ground for non-current carrying metallic members of optical fiber cable entering a mobile home shall be blank. A metal water pipe that serves the motorhome. B, a ground rod of at least 5 feet in length. C, either A or B. And then, of course, D is none. Okay, so the root in this, obviously, is optical fiber cables. What article deals with optical fiber cables? Well, it's pretty evident. Oh, hold on here. I'm not sure what's good. Oh, wait a minute. This is asking me a utility. I don't want to start that. I don't want to do that. Let's see here. I don't know what that was. Sorry about that. It's telling me to update drivers. There's always something. All right, so we know we're in fiber optic, and so that is 770. So let's go to the NEC. And here's the NEC. And we're going to go down here to 770. Okay. All right, now, so they said it was 770. So here we are at optical fiber. All right. And that's what we got on the screen. Now, I want to show you that this is not very big. Okay, I'm just going to scroll it down a little bit. Not very big at all. Okay, not very. Oh, actually, I'm just kind of jumping around, and I already see 770, 106. And let's see here. Just let's see here. We want to get down. Okay, we're down to grounding methods. So that's the first thing we needed to get to, because that's kind of what the question was about, right? So optical fiber, mobile home. We saw one reference to 106, but we're at the basic root here of entrance cable bonding and grounding. All right. Now we're also, for those that are handy, I've got my code book. So those that are here, go into the index under optical fiber and see what your reference may be using the index. Remember, I don't have that. So it says right here, if we look down at it, right here, we've got, I got a ditch. And let's see what we've got here. We have some options. Well, what does this say right here? So in buildings or structures with grounding means. All right, if the building or structure served has no inner system, so that's talking about that reference, right? So let's see here. Bear with me, because I've got, not sure what's going on with this thing here. All right, so we've got 770.100, and we're looking at B3. Okay, so nothing was said at this mobile home. Nothing was said about anything to do with, let's see here. And I'm on, what edition real quick? Let's make sure I'm on the 20. Oh, I'm on the 2023. That's why. Hold on. That was why. Now we're cooking with grease. That's why our references look weird. Okay, so we're going to go down to 770. And you should already have in your code book. You're going to go down to, what are we talking about? Grounding, which starts at 770, 100, right? And you're looking down here, and electrodes, okay? And let's see here. Nothing was said in this question about anything to do with B3, right? Or A3. So let's see here. All right, so we've got all of this reference. Non-current carrying, we're required the non-current carrying metal members of optical fiber cables entering buildings shall be bonded or grounded as specified in 770.100A through D. Okay, all right, so that's all these we have here, okay? And let's see here. If we keep on going down, we've got all of these rules right here. So when the building or structure with the grounding means, then let's see here. Here's one. It says right here. Okay. Now we know that this mobile home is the structure, and since it's fiber optic, it's communications. So communications is going to require what? Your communications is going to require that have an intersystem bonding connection at it. Okay. So again, if an intersystem bonding termination is established, then it says the grounding interior metal water pipe within 5 feet from the point of entry to the building as covered in 250.52. Okay. All right. So it shall be connected to the nearest accessible location on one of the following. So the ground rod, okay, water piping, there's that one. but we're not talking about that. So let's see what else we got. Y'all have got your references on the screen. Let's see here. Y'all wanted to go to 106 right here. 770, 106. And y'all wanted to go down to which one? Okay. Y'all get what y'all's references? All right, David says A or B, 770.106 and 770.100B3. Okay, so let's look at your references. So 770.106. So here's where we're at. Grounding means and bonding entrance cables at mobile homes. All right, well, here's the first one. It says, where there is no mobile home service equipment located within, so I don't like that one. And a cable. All right, so here's your reference, right? So we're talking about this one, and it keeps telling us here to do what? It keeps sending us back to what? 770.100B3. Okay, all right. And then, of course, the other one here says bonding. Yeah, there's nothing beneficial there. So 770.106 is a reference. It's a piss poor reference, but it talks about the water pipe. So we already covered that one, right? And that was the one that we had up here in 100. Y'all remember? That's coming up here, B, and here's the water pipe, 5 feet. So we got that one, right? The water pipe, okay? And then, of course, the other one is going to be, let's see here, right here. 3, item number 2. It says, if the building or structure is served has no grounding means, okay, and so the question kind of implies that we don't have one. It says, as described in 770.100B2, in order of individual grounding electrode described, okay, blah, blah, or to a ground rod or pipe not less than 5 feet in length, okay? So we have a reference here, and I guess more accurately, I guess it would be 770.100B, what is it, B32. So if you wanted to be all the way down, okay? So the actual answer is the water pipe ground and the 5-foot ground rod. These are options for you. So really, based on the question, it's really either A or B, okay? And there's our reference right there. But I would say we could dig even deeper into the references. We could go all the way down. If this is 2020, we could go all the way down to 770.100B32 if we wanted to dig that deep with the question. Okay? And then, of course, the 106, just so we can look at it again, is right here. A1 right here. And it ends up sending you back to 100B3 anyway. Send you back. Okay? So that's really the 2 references. So when you go to the one about the grounding and bonding entrance cable, ultimately it's going to send you to 770.100B3. And of course, when you go to 770.100B3, it's going to give you the option to be able to do it to a ground rod at least 5 feet in length. Okay? And again, remember, these rules right here are only applicable when we're talking about this for optical fiber. Okay? Not making you think that 5-foot rod's going to work anywhere else in the code, because you know it's not. Y'all know that. But here, this is only an option for optical fiber cable applications. And in this case, we're talking about a mobile home. Okay? All right. Next question. Y'all ready? We'll put it on the screen. And we kind of did. Oh, did anybody find anything in the index real quick? I didn't hear anybody say anything. So those that are using the index under, let's say, optical fiber, see if there's anything under optical fiber. I didn't see any comments from anybody. Usually Michael takes care of that for me, but he didn't. Okay, optical fiber cables. And then if you look down, there's grounding. And no direct reference, although it does, I believe, send you, what part is that real quick? Yeah, that is part 4. And under optical fiber cables, it does send you to 770 part 4. Now, even if you had to go on to 93, you would have bold scanned and you would have been able to find it. Any other reference down here? Let's see. Under that, for those that are using the index. And that was, by the way, under grounding. Let's see here. Yeah, don't really see anything else that would have been beneficial for that. Probably maybe something under mobile home, just to look. I doubt it, but you never know. So we're trying to look at all the possible ways. So mobile homes, let's see here if there's anything under. I'll be damned. Under mobile homes, it says optical fiber cables 770.106, and of course that would have ultimately sent you back to 770.100B3. So you would have gotten there that way. So under mobile homes in the index, you had a way to get there. Okay, you ready? All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let me start the timer for you folks. Go. A single electrode consisting of a rod, pipe, or plate that does not have a resistance to ground of 25 ohms or less shall be augmented by blank additional electrodes. 1, 2, 3, or any unlimited number of. All right, so remember, folks, you can, don't want you to guess. I want you to look it up, give me your code reference. And again, A, B, C, or D. Timer's running. Got 1 minute and 26 seconds left. Give me the code reference to support your answers. So don't be in a hurry to just throw it out there. Hey, Ryan, I saw you. I didn't miss you there. I see you. So again, this is a rule where is if you have one rod, pipe, or plate, and it doesn't have 25 ohms, or you can't test it at 25 ohms, then you're required to do what? Okay. And how many would you need? Okay. Hopefully I still got y'all. Y'all awful quiet. Hopefully I haven't lost anybody. So find it in your code books and start posting some answers. Timer runs out. I'm going to work you through it. But in your mind, remember, what are we talking about? We're talking about electrodes. And what article are we talking about when we talk about grounding electrodes? Specific article. In fact, it's my favorite article in the entire NEC. So we know where we got to be. So let's see what we got. All right. Schwartzy, is this thing locked up or something? Or nobody there anymore? I don't know. Did everybody leave me? Are we ending early tonight because it's stalled up on everybody or something? All right, timer's up. Okay, there you go. All right, David gave us a reference. All right, and David P says B2. Okay. Okay, thank you, Swartz. Appreciate it. Thought I was kind of alone there for a while. I was like, okay, come on. Y'all heard me talk about this one forever. All right. Okay, now, one of the things to remember is use of terminology in questions. You're going to get exam questions, and you're not going to like the wording. You're not going to agree with it. Like, I don't agree with the word augmented. But on an exam, you don't get the luxury of changing. You just have to be able to read through what's there and try to understand what we're talking about. With this one, we're talking about, hey, I have a rod, pipe, or plate. It doesn't meet the 25 ohms or less. Y'all do this every day when you're out there driving rods and things like that. And you're saying, hey, what do I have to do if that I can't show 25 ohms or less, right? Then what do you have to do? So I don't think there's any exception in this rule here. So let's go look at the code and dissect it. So the first thing what we know with this question, when you read this question, if you happen to get on an exam, you know you're talking about electrodes. Now this is specific, okay? okay? This is specific to the rod, pipe, or plate type of electrode. So this has to do with once you selected the type of electrodes. Oh, that's awful, Schwartzy. Shingles, man. That can be nasty. Okay? She's itching to death. So again, thoughts and prayers are with her. She'll get over that and not itch herself to death. So hopefully take care of that for her. Take care of her. Okay? Keep her okay. All right, so what we know here is that we're going to be in 250. We also know that the electrodes start, the rules start at dot 50 of 250. Then the different types of electrodes are in dot 52, so that's geared to the different types. And then the 250.53 starts getting into installation of these types of electrodes, okay? So let's go to the code. And let's see what we've got here. Let me get, go to the code, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up and we're gonna get into 250. My favorite, and we already know we're going to go to dot 50 because that's what we're dealing with, the different electrodes. We kind of commit that to memory, okay? Part 3, different electrodes. So here's the system. Here's the different types of electrodes, A1, A2, A3, all the way through. Now we happen to be talking about rod and pipes, and we're talking about plates, right? But these are just the rules for the electrode itself, what qualifies as an electrode. So we're moving beyond that. So next we get into here, 250, 53, the installation of these various electrodes. Now, the very beginning, rod, pipe, and plates, all right? So here's below the permanent moisture level, which, hello, nobody seems to want to follow anyway. In many cases, it's not practical to do so. So again, now here's what we're talking about: supplemental electrode requirement. Now this is why I say about the question, I don't like the word augmented. Years ago we used augmented. I don't like it because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about where one rod, pipe, or plate doesn't meet 25 ohms, then we're required to do what? Supplement it. Did you know there's really 2 places in the NEC where supplemental takes place for electrodes? Water pipe, you're required to supplement it. But guess what? Rod, pipe, and plates, you're also required to supplement it unless you can prove 25 ohms or less. And unless you have one of those fancy-dancy ground resistance meters or the cheaper 3-point fall of potential and a lot of room to do the test, you're probably just going to drive another ground rod, right? Okay. So anyway, here's where we're at. Right here. Okay. Now, here's what it says in... it does not have a resistance of 25 ohms or less. That's what the question told us. So we're forced. It says a rod, pipe, or plate electrode shall be supplemented with additional electrode, with an additional electrode. It's not plural, right? Electrode of the type specified in 250.52A2 through A8. So I could supplement the rod, pipe, or plate with any of the other available electrodes except what's missing. A1 is missing. Of course, you know what that is, right? That's the water pipe ground. Since I got to supplement the water pipe, why the hell would I want the water pipe to be a supplemental for the rod? It don't make sense, right? So I would supplement it with one of the other electrodes. In this case, probably you and me are going to do what? No, the exception's not in play, Dustin, because let's look at the question. This is so important. Great comment. Real quick, look at the question. It says a single electrode consisting of rod, pipe, or plate that does not have a resistance to ground of 25 ohms or less. So important to really read the question. It already told you that it doesn't have. The exception only comes into play when it does have 25 or less. Then you have the exception. Important. Subtlety. All right. All right, so in this case, I have to supplement it. But you notice it says by an additional electrode. 1, okay? I don't need 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, now could you if you wanted to? Yeah. You want to put $1 million, you go for it. Okay, kind of like those engineers, this dude, you know, those cell towers and stuff, they seem to think that that's just going to help them or something, but, you know, whatever. Do what you will. But that's why it says, notice it, 1. Okay, 1 electrode. So back to the lesson. 1. Reference 250.53A2. Okay? So important. That's why I love doing these trainings, right? It may seem like these are just doing these questions, but just like what Dustin did, it's so common for that to happen, is to have a question on an exam and they throw a little bit of fluff in there, right? That causes you to misread the question, and then it just causes it to be wrong. And again, it's very common. It happens to everybody. I have to read questions multiple times myself in order to say, okay, what the heck are they asking me? That type of thing. All right. All right. Good job. Good job dissecting that thing away. And let's go on to the next question. Got my timer ready. Got your code books ready. Let's do it. All right. I'm going to hit the timer. It's on. Community antenna for televisions or radio systems, so that should tell you where we're at, that use underground direct buried coaxial cables shall have at least blank inch of separation for light, power, or class 1 circuits. I'll let y'all kind of dwell on that a little bit, okay? And kind of talk about a little bit of this, through this a little bit. Now, I can tell you right now that we're talking communication and all this, buried cables, coaxes. Be very smart where you're at in the code. Remember, there is something called community antenna and televisions and radio systems. I'll let you just kind of work your code magic, and then we'll dissect it for you. But I am going to remind you that I am going to be doing some episodes on that fault management type of system, whereas it's really interesting technology that works with POEs and other stuff like that. So I will definitely be doing more of that in the future, okay? So look for that for those that are interested in that new technology for class 4 systems. It's quite interesting stuff, and the more I read it, the more intrigued I get. All right, you got 35 seconds, 34 seconds. I don't see anybody kicking anything out to me. But we want to definitely look and see, again, community antenna for television and radio systems. Okay, you got your code book. Okay, oh, I see some answer. I see some. All right, there you go. Starting to give me some actual complete answers, Christopher. I didn't know if I saw you come in the room, Chris. Congratulations. Welcome to the room. All right, so I'm going to look in the index really quickly. While you still got a second. Now you don't have a second. It's done, baby. All right, so time is up. I got at least one answer on the screen. So if I look in the index really quickly, and I go under community antenna, television, and radio distribution, it's actually in the index. And the question is about a separation here, our underground direct burial coaxial. So I'm looking at it, and I see underground reference. We're talking about underground. This is community antenna, television, radio distribution. It's telling me that it's Article 820, the index. This was so quick because that's obviously what this is about, okay? And it tells me under that for underground, go to 820.47. Great place to start. Got some more references coming in. Excellent. All right. So the other place you can go, if you're not altogether familiar with the different articles, take some time during your study period to go to the table of contents and kind of look at the heading of these different chapters and look at them, and then look at, as you're looking in chapter 6 and then you look at chapter 7, then you look at chapter 8, and you see chapter 8's communication. You know this is talking about communication, because y'all all familiar with community antenna for television and radio systems. So we're all familiar kind of with that. If you look here, you'll see 805 is communication circuits. 810 is radio and television equipment. 820 says community antenna and television and radio distribution systems. So, and then of course 830 is network powered. And then of course 840 is premise powered. Okay. So you can learn a lot by using your table of contents, but this one was found extremely quickly and easy in the index if you didn't know. Now, I will tell you 820 is not very big. So if you knew that it was an 820, you can bold scan and find it pretty quickly. But in the back, it said to go to 820.47, and that's consensus for everybody here. So we'll go to the NEC. And we'll see if we can't go down. And I will show you that this is pretty much the same. If you look here, see, this is general requirements, community, radio and television equipment. So this is the equipment. And here's the one specifically, community antenna, television, and radio distribution system. Basically what it says in the actual question. So we're going to go there. And if you look at how this is broken out, you've got coaxial outdoor, out of building, you got equipment, and then you've got, oh, went too far. In here, it says underground coaxial cables entering buildings. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. And it's asking about separation. So once you're here, we see the direct burial cables. That's very germane to our question. Yep, absolutely it does, Ted. And inside of it, so you've got antenna systems takes you there. Radio and television takes you there. They're also in there. That's awesome. Again, the index is not the holy grail, but, you know, if you're stuck, you know, it's not a firm facts document by any means. And what I love the NEC to expand more in this index and be a little bit help easier, you know, things. Absolutely. But it's not bad, but it's not the holy grail. And if you had to take an exam and answer every question by using the index, you're probably going to run out of time. I can promise you. All right, so let's go down here. So B, it says, direct buried coax cables shall be separated at least 12 inches from conductors of any light or power, non-power limited fire alarm, or class 1 circuits. Okay, and the class 1 circuits are still 600 volts. Non-power limited means there is no power limit on it. Could be 600 volts. And then of course you have power and light again, which is again, not power limited. It's just normal lighting and power consumption type loads. So 12 inches separation. Let's go back to the question. All right. And so obviously the answer here is going to be 12. And there's our code reference 820.47b. I remind you folks, these are in for your 2020 and 2023. These extra questions are in your database. 2017, folks, I'm sorry, did not have a database available to give you extra, but you still have over 800 plus anyway. So, hey, can't complain. All right. Okay, so there you go. All right, next question. If O was here, he would be complaining about that. Right? Hey, Josie, welcome. Or Jose, which is it? Give me a 1 for Josie. Give me a 2 for Jose. So I know if I'm saying it right. All right. Y'all ready? Or maybe it's Jose. I don't know. I could be saying it wrong. But welcome anyway. Thanks for joining us tonight. 2. Okay. There you go. Where is the mainstream? The mainstream is everywhere. We stream to all platforms, Facebook, everything. But if you can't see some of those things, Anthony, it's probably because it's over on the YouTube, okay? Over on the YouTube. YouTube.com/master the NEC, okay? You can also watch from fasttrackstube.com as well, and you should see all of these comments on the screen. Okay, these right here. Now, you should be seeing these comments on the screen also, Anthony. Okay. All right, next question. Here we go. A blank establishes an electrical connection to the earth. All right? Ground ring, water pipe, ground rod, or grounding electrode. Okay? So Corbin says C, ground rod, but doesn't a water pipe as well? Doesn't a ground ring as well? But all three of those are what? A form of what? You got it. They're a form of a grounding electrode. Okay? So this is one where I wouldn't think you'd have to look it up, because if you know a ring will make a connection to the earth, a water pipe makes a connection to earth, ground rod makes a connection to earth, then you know all three of those are electrodes, right? So obviously you wouldn't choose A, B, or C. You would choose D, because that's the best answer, because all of them here are electrodes. So to cover the whole gamut, you would choose grounding electrodes. Okay. So this is an example of a question you would answer in the first wave, and you would not even blink an eye. Okay. You should know this, that all of those are electrodes. So the best answer is grounding electrode does that. But you're absolutely right. Article 100 is where you're going to get the definitions for it. And there you go. Article 100. Y'all are sharp. Y'all are on it. So there you go. All right. Y'all ready? We're just going to the next one. I didn't even start the timer. That's how quick y'all were on that one. All right, let's do the next one. Okay, you ready? It says a clear workspace not less than blank feet wide shall be provided where cables are located in both sides. Cables are located on both sides, and not less than 2.5 feet where cables of all voltages are installed on only one side of a what? I know where everybody was going, right? You were going 110.26. I was going there. I was already running there. And then it says, oh, crap, manhole. Well, obviously, manhole is a driving force here, okay? So let me start the timer. I'm sorry, I didn't start the timer. I'm going to give you all a little extra time. Give me code reference and answer. Timer has started. Sorry about that. Give you a little extra time. Okay. So we're still talking working clearance. Mike hates when I do this. We're still talking working clearance. But you wouldn't have a manhole typically in a normal lower voltage. And again, remember, folks, 1,000 volts or less is still considered low voltage. I know, right? 2,000 volts or less is still considered low voltage, right? Doesn't start to get into medium voltage till you get over that, right? Anyway, people want to say low voltage has got to be, 10 volts, 15 volts, 50 volts. Low voltage is 120. Low voltage is 480. Low voltage is 277. Low voltage is, you get 208, you get me. But everybody always goes low, that type of thing. What's up, Eric? Glad you can make it. Didn't miss a whole lot. We're just going over some questions. Mike, give it to him, why don't you? I know, I can't help it. But what's the root here? There you go. Starting to get answers, okay? And I need an answer, too, from you, Chandler. Oh, you did. You gave me B. Okay, good. There you go. So Christopher gave me an answer. Chandler gave me an answer. So thinking of manhole, what is the threshold for medium voltage? Typically, medium voltage starts at about 2,500 and up, right? That type of scenario. Okay. All right. You wanna make reference to Mike Holt? Is that what you want to do? Is you wanna make references? Okay. Well, guess what? I get to block you, Keith. Gotta kick you out. Say. So sorry about that, Keith. See what playing around causes you? Causes you to not have fun because you want to be a smartass. All right. Sorry. Bye-bye. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Okay. So here we go. We'll click. Everybody says 3. So let's go to the code and find it. And we'll go to the code. And let's see here. Here we're in the code. And let's see here. So first thing we're going to do is, okay, so first thing I would do is just go index. So maybe you know nothing about manholes, all right? You know, you see them, you're like, what the hell is a manhole? So I'm going to go look in here and just look under manholes real quick. See what we got. If we got anything for manholes. All right, we do have manholes. And so the question is talking about clearance. So I'm looking at manholes, and it looks like it's 110 part 5. Okay. All right, that makes sense. And then I'm looking for working space at the very bottom of manholes. So that was easy, right? There you go. Index. There you go. And it starts at, looks like it's 110.72 and 110.73. That ain't far to go, right? All right. So that was quick. Okay. The other hint that might have told me something, right, is that when I look at this, it's a working clearance question. And so remember what I said at the beginning that 110.26 is kind of one of those situations where you go, hey, that's got to be in 110. But you know .26 is working clearances for a normal application, but you're thinking, well, this is a manhole. This is not normal. So we're going to go to 110. And we're going into, where are we at? What did we say? 72, I can't see it. Right here, working. All right, so anyway, part 5, so I can show you this. So here's part 5, which is manholes, okay? And again, the difference between a handhole and a manhole is, right? You got to go in it. So manhole, now that's not politically correct. I guess right now we'll call it a whatever you identify as hole, and you can go into it if you choose. And some of them I do wish would go into the hole somewhere and never be seen again. But that's for a whole different podcast and show and whatnot, so I won't go there. All right, so let's go down here to is 110.72, cabling working space. So remember what it said here? It says where the cables are located on both sides. So this whole question, look at this question. This whole question's about the cables and the locations and everything like that, right? All over the concept of that thing. So we're in the right place. Now let's go back to the NEC. All right. So a clear working space not less than 3 feet wide shall be provided where cables are located on both sides. Okay. So in our question, it says a working space shall not be less than blank wide shall be provided where cables are located on both sides. The other parts of the question we don't care about, right? Doesn't care. We only care about what's where on on both sides of the cable. That was the whole start of the question. That's all we care about right here. 3 feet. There's the 2.5. They use 2.5 in the question, but we get it. We ain't got to worry about that. Didn't ask about headroom. Didn't ask about nothing else. This is it. That's all we want right there. Okay, so come back to the lesson. 3, and there you go. 110.72. What did I start, Ted? All right, so let's go on to the next question. All right, y'all doing great. All right, I'm going to start the timer this time. You ready? Go. See who can get it first. Code reference and the answer. The continuity of the grounded conductor shall not depend on a connection to metallic enclosures, raceways, or blank. Cable armor, copper pipe, grounding rings, or metal studs. Okay? Oh, yeah, his response. Him, her, she, hole. It's a she-hole, he-hole, man-hole. Somebody will get offended in that whole thing. So anyway, but I'm an equal opportunity offender. So y'all know I pretty much don't care. So anyway, all right. So look up these answers. So remember what we're talking about, folks. We're talking about the grounded conductor. Isn't there a specific article for that? right? What do y'all think? Isn't there something specific that deals with the grounded conductor? What article is it? And don't you think that's a great place to start? Okay. Now, Michael will tell me again, I'm giving everything away. 43 seconds to go. You know, these days I hear Michael in my head all the time. You know, Paul, giving it away, giving it away. I do have to get Michael to do a show with me, and I want him to come on a guest show. So, Michael, we got to talk. I got something I want to do, and I want you to see if you can find time to be a guest on it. All right. Be an interesting topic. All right. So, anybody know where we going here? Where are we going? Nobody's giving me an answer yet on this one. Y'all know where? Okay. Schwartzy gave me an answer. I don't know if I agree with the code reference, but all together. All right, there's the time. Okay. All right, so Dustin, under the gun here at the wire, came in with 200.2b. Okay, so when you see grounded conductor, folks, you should immediately think Article 200. Okay? Interesting thing. A neutral conductor is always a grounded conductor. Always. But a grounded conductor is not always a neutral. Right? Interesting concept. Okay? All right. So anyway, let's go look that up in the code. And here's where we're at in the code. And let's go on and get to this one here. So again, remember I told you, think grounded, think 200. Circle on that code panel as well, which is still under code panel 5. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so we know it wasn't going to be 0.1 because that's the scope. I think somebody said 0.1. We know that wasn't going to be it. All right? But here, all about the continuity. Now, somebody posted a picture on TikTok. For y'all that don't know, I've been doing TikTok lately. I loathe it, but it's such a weird platform. But I made some great friends over there. Really very talented people, inspectors, the bearded inspector, and then the angry Sparky. Really cool guys. And Steven over there, and Rewires over there posting. Excited about things that he's doing up there where he's at. I saw him sweating in an attic today. Yeah, I remember those days. Don't miss those days, by the way, fella. All right, so, but that's why we get the big bucks, right? That's why we drive the fancy trucks, because we do the hard work. We're not like those plumbers. I'm just saying. All right. So, code reference continuity. Now, there was a picture that was posted on TikTok a while back where they were trying to use the enclosure because their grounded conductor wasn't long enough to get to the terminal. So they connected it to the enclosure, and then the bus was connected to the enclosure, and they thought that was okay to bring all of their grounded conductors to the bus, but that bus wasn't physically connected to the grounded conductor because it was too short, right? And so they were using the CAN for that return path for the grounded conductor current, and you can't do that, right? Chandler said, who's getting the big bucks? All electricians are getting the big bucks, aren't they? Aren't you getting big bucks, Chandler? All right, so here's where it says, the continuity of the grounded conductor shall not depend on a connection to a metallic enclosure, raceway, or cable armor. So you're never going to use that armor to help carry that grounded conductor current. It just ain't going to happen. You can't extend it that way. Can't utilize it that way. So back to the lesson. There you go. So there it is. So Chandler, after you get that, the old saying is after you pass your test, the money just comes rolling in, baby. You don't even know where it's all coming. In fact, you won't even be able to spend it quick enough. I'm just saying. All right. So the answer over here is cable armor, and the reference is 200.2. B. So think about this question. Now, grounded conductor, if you did not know, now I'm hoping you know Article 200. But if you did not know, and some of my warriors out there that have been doing this, I think, who was it that's been doing some of these, finding some of these references here? I thought he would already, Ted, I thought you'd already found me some references real quick. All right, so if you go in and look under grounded, let's see if what's under grounded. G, and I'm doing it like y'all, because again, we don't have the index. Okay. And grounded, and I'm looking continuity of, and that sends me to 300.13b. So that is not where I want to be for that one, because that's talking about the continuity when you have having to maintain, let's say, multiple multi-wires, and you have to maintain the integrity of the grounded conductor. Not really where I want to be with that one. Going down this list just to see what I see. Use and identification, Article 200. So it's asking about the use of the grounded conductor. So I might be able to get there. I'm just teasing you, Ted. They might be able. We can't get there. Now under grounded, let's see here. Is there anything under grounded that would help us? Not really. Under grounded conductor, again, it looks like if we're using the equipment, we're not supposed to. I'm looking to see what else might be in here. I guess use and identification is going to be Article 200. So my biggest thing to you folks is if you get a question out there in the field or on an exam about the grounded conductor, again, just so you see, 200 here, right? We're at the top. And that's it. Look at that. It only goes to section 11. That's it. Hell, you can't even see that. I'd have to scroll down for you to see it. So 200.10 with the last one is 200.11. Okay. So I had a grounded conductor question. I'm going right to 200 and I'm going to bold scale. It's not very big. Memorize that. Remember, 200. It's not big, powerful, but not big. Okay. All right, back to the lesson. Y'all doing great. All right, another question. All right, I'm going to start the clock. Y'all ought to get this one quick. You ready? Go. Receptacle outlets along kitchen countertops shall be installed so that no point along the wall line, okay? No point along the wall line is more than blank inches measured horizontally from a receptacle outlet in that space, okay? Continuity. Schwartzy says under continuity. Okay. Van, we missed the question. We moved on, but it was talking about not using the metal enclosure to extend or to maintain continuity between grounded conductors. Okay. Okay. You can't come in with the neutral from the service, let's say, and go to a lug in the enclosure and then have all the neutrals on a separate bus down here, and the grounded conductor is not physically connected to it, but instead it's passing the grounded conductor's return current is traveling through the metal enclosure. You can't do that. Okay, that's what it's saying. Now I'm not sure what the heck's going on with Magnuson and 110.72. That must be very delayed because that was the manhole and we're off of that question. So must have a delay on yours. All right. So this question, I got some answers here. People are coming in with some answers. Let's see what we got. So we got 24. We got the reference to 210.52. Can you be a little deeper than that? Can you give me a little deeper than just 210.52? All right. Christopher, I should have guessed, would do that. 210.52. And he gives me C1, and he gives me 24 inches. Okay. Still got 9 seconds left, 8 seconds left. There we go. Now they're rolling in here. Okay. Timer. All right. Timer's up. Put your code books down. All right. So when you look at this question, this is interesting. And don't be fooled by this in some type of questions. And I'll show you an example where you might get fooled. Okay. And let me show you. All right, so when you look at this question, it says receptacle outlets along the kitchen countertop shall be installed so that no point along the wall line is more than blank inches measured horizontally from a receptacle outlet in that space. So if I have one receptacle here, okay, and a receptacle here, anywhere that I touch in that space, I have to be within 24 inches of a receptacle. Now, what if I asked you the question, what's the maximum distance between receptacles? Different question. And that is how we ask it in the Fast Trax. Then that answer would be 4 feet, right? Or, depending on how we ask the question, might be 48 inches, depending on what we want as an answer, whether we want it in feet or we want it in inches. And so be careful of the question. So the wording of the code is specifically like this, but you could get a question that says, what is the maximum distance between receptacles? Knowing that it's at any point in the wall, you have to be at least within 24 inches of a receptacle. So if I touch the middle of the wall, I can go 24 this way, 24 this way. Maximum distance is 48 feet. Now with this question, it is absolutely 24 inches, okay? So it is absolutely 24 inches. But I want you to be very sensitive to how they ask the question. Same way for the 6 and 12 foot rule in a say a bedroom. If I were to tell you what the maximum distance between receptacles in a bedroom, the answer would be 12 feet. But the code says at no point along the wall line are you to be more than 6 feet from a receptacle. So if I take a 12-foot span and I touch the very center of the wall, right? I'm within 6 feet of this receptacle. I'm within 6 feet of this receptacle. The maximum distance is 12 feet. Be careful because the code talks about 6-foot rule. Same with the countertop in the kitchen. The code talks about the 24-inch rule. Just don't be baited in and then not read the question right, okay? All right, so we're going to support this answer. So we're going to go to the code. And we'll go to the NEC. And we know we're going to be in 210.52C. So let's go on and get there real quick so we can support your answers. We're going to be at least starting in 210.52C right here. And we're going to go on down to A is the general provisions, B is small appliance, C is a countertop and workspaces. That's what we're talking about right here, all right? And here's where we got all of our rules about the basic, and then you get down into the wall space. It says receptacle outlets shall be installed so that no point along the wall line is more than 24 inches measured horizontally from a receptacle outlet in that space, okay? Make sense? But if I reworded this question and ask you, hey, what's the maximum distance between receptacles on a countertop? 4 feet. You get it? Okay, good deal. All right, let's come back to the lesson and we'll verify your answer right here. It is right there. And Ted says, if you need to use the index, look under kitchen and it'll have receptacles underneath it. And the question's about receptacles type of thing. Okay. All right. Y'all ready? Starting this question. Here we go. I'm starting the timer now. Start. It says photovoltaic systems operating at blank voltage DC or greater between any two conductors shall be protected by a listed PV arc fault circuit interrupter or other system component listed to provide equivalent protection. Okay, give me code references, Rick. So 50, 80, 125, or 250. Okay, Jesse, I didn't even see you in here, Jesse. I didn't even see you commenting, but you like the stream, so I know you're hiding out in there. I won't pick on you, Jesse. You know me. You know me, bro. I won't do that. All right. All right, so you've got a few seconds left. What are we looking for? Okay, just got in. There you go. The bearded one has made it to the room. All right. No book again? Dude, you know we need we all chip in and get you link so that you can do it on your phone, then you won't need it. Okay? All right. Why don't you mean you don't go everywhere with a book, Jesse? I go everywhere with a code book. I'm just saying. All right. All right. So what are we thinking about here? Well, the first thing is I'll give you 37 more seconds. I don't want to give you Rick's done gone in. Now he's supporting his answer. Okay. There you go. Felipe, he's driving, stuck in the truck, in traffic. Where you at, Felipe? Where are you doing? Don't tell me California, because you'll be there for hours. All right? But I appreciate that dedication that you're following. That's what I'm talking about. Also, remind everybody this will be ready on the rebroadcast, so you can watch it again. And you can always pause it, answer the questions, and then click play. That's another thing that I like to do with videos. When I do these questions and exam prep, you can always pause and then answer it and then click play. Okay, works great. All right, timer's up. All right, so let's dissect this thing. Stockton, California. Yeah, I imagine traffic's probably awful. Matt's at the gym working out. He says, I don't need no code book. I'm pumping iron. All right. Obviously, this is a photovoltaic question. It's PV, right? And it's obviously geared towards arc fault circuit interrupter. Okay. So if I'm looking in photovoltaic in the back of the book, okay, let's see if I want to beat, I'm going to beat Ted to it here. All right, I'm going to try to beat Ted to it. So I'm going to go back in the back. Of course, I can't see, so it makes it worse. And y'all notice I broke out the old glasses. And guess what? It does say Master the NEC on the inside of my glasses. Reminds me of Carly Simon. Paul's so vain. Whatever. All right, somebody had to say it, so it might as well be me. All right, so let me look under photovoltaic, and I'm running my mouth and not even looking in the code book. All right, let's see. Photovoltaic system says look under solar. So I'm going to have to go to solar. Kind of funny. All right, so we're going to go to solar systems. And I'm going to look under solar. Me, I'd probably go to 690 and bold scan it because I know I'm looking for AFCI. But you do you, as people hate when I say that. All right, so solar photovoltaic systems. If you look down it, and we're talking about anything in here that might be beneficial to us in this question, may or may not be. Yep, I don't see anything that's really beneficial. Well, one of the things is that's talking about arc fault, right? So now I'm going to go look under arc fault and see what might be under arc fault, because that's something that it might be. I probably would have gone to 690 anyway. And let's see under A's, and let's see what we got under A. Let's see, arc fault. There you go. Arc fault, solar voltaic system, 690.11. Index, baby. Okay. Now my hope is that these come up on your exam now. You don't need to use the index. You're like, dude, I got this. All right, so let's go to 690.11. That's where it says to go. That's where everybody says that's where we need to be. So let's go on and get it. All right, so let's go to 690. We knew it was photovoltaic. So we're going to go to 690. And we're at the very beginning up here. And of course, for me, I'm probably going to jump right down here to arc fault, because that's the whole question about it. All right, right here. And then again, what you do, we bold scan it very quickly. And you're going to see that your voltage. So that's another tip, is that sometimes use the answers to help you bold scan. So if we knew that we were looking for a voltage value, 50, 80, 125, or 250, then as we're reading that arc, we can quickly look for the voltage levels. So boom, right there, 80. And that's all it would take. And you immediately flip on back to your lesson. Click on that 80, and there's your code references, okay? Barrel gut, is that it? That's your name, Barrel Gut, hell of a name. It depends on whatever state you're in. Most states are open book. California is one that's a closed book, right? But when we see an exam that's closed book, remember, don't freak out. There is absolutely no freaking way they'd expect you to know this. So that tells me that the majority of the questions are field type of things. Is it open book? Because I had people reporting to me that it was closed book. That's awesome news that it's open book. There are some closed book tests around the country in certain areas. I think that's stupid because you got this book with you all the time. If you have one in the truck, you ought to be able to use it, right? But if you run into one that is closed, remember, they can't expect you to know that whole thing, right? And so because of that, they're probably going to ask you more common sense type of things, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure you know your basic code theory, basic knowledge, that type of thing. Yep, you're most welcome. All right, so that one, let's do another one, man. Y'all are kicking it along, doing very well. That didn't take y'all any time in that one. I'm actually going to be in New York in about 20 days. I'm an expert witness on a case in New York. So I'll be in New York for the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of next month on a case that I'm the expert witness on. All right, next one, folks. Here we go. You ready? I'm going to start this timer. 2 minutes. Boom, it's gone. It says, where a feeder supplies continuous loads of any combination or any combination of continuous and non-continuous loads, the rating of the overcurrent device shall not be less than blank percent of the non-continuous load plus blank percent, in order is important here, and blank percent of the continuous load. Now, if you've watched my derating demystified video, which by the way is over on Fast Trax Tube, you can go watch it there. You got to be a subscriber. And again, that's a way to say thank you. We want subscribers on Fast Trax Tube. And if you're in the Fast Trax program and you're a Fast Trax student, over on the Sparky Hub, you ought to be able to get to, okay? You ought to be able to get to the videos, but you have to have access to the special folder. And the only way you're going to get it is to let us know you're a Fast Trax student. So go to that forum, post in there, hey, Paul, I'm a Fast Trax student, and then we'll give you access to that folder. Other than that, you don't just get access to it automatically, okay? All right, we got some answers coming in, okay? And again, remember I said order is important? Van Man, okay? It's always important, the order. The order, okay? All right, so, all right, I don't even see 110 as an option, Jose. So I don't even see 110 as an option on the screen. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. There you go. All right, so first things first. Y'all know that when we're doing a calculation in conductors that we take continuous loads at 125%. We take non-continuous loads at 100%. So whether I'm doing branch circuits, right, and sizing for branch circuits, and dude, Michael would say I did it again. So whether I'm talking about branch circuit sizing under, I believe, 210.19, or I'm talking about feeders under 215, or I'm talking about services under 230, remember, continuous loads, 125%. Non-continuous loads, 100%. Okay? That type of thing. All right? Okay? All right. So, all about that. So, let's go on and go and let's justify this one real quick. So again, remember, it's a feeder, so y'all know, okay? Michael said I was too busy typing the wrong answer. So you know it's a feeder, so that's going to put us in 215, not to be confused with 225, because that's outside branch feeders. A lot of people forget 215's feeders, but 225 encases both 210 and 215 when they're outside. Okay, interesting. That's how the code works. All right, anyway, so let's go to the NEC. And here we are, and we're going to go to 215 for feeders, and we're right up at the very beginning. Here you see maximum rating in use, right at the very beginning, right? And here's where you start seeing percentages. So that should draw your mind right away, okay? There you go. Ted says in index feeders, takes you to loads, then to feeders. Screw all that, Ted. I'm just going to 215 because I know that this is the basis for calculations. So I know in my mind, this has got to be at the front of 215. Got to be at the front, okay? So I'm in there, and here I'm in beginning, and it says, okay, a feeder supplying continuous loads or any combination of continuous and non-continuous loads, the minimum feeder conductor size shall have an ampacity of not less than the non-continuous load, okay, which is just at 100% because it's non-continuous. It's just whatever its value is at 100%, okay, plus 125% of continuous loads. So interesting. I could have a feeder and I have both continuous loads and non-continuous loads on the one feeder. So I'm going to take those that are non-continuous loads, assuming you did a calculation, and I'm going to take those at 100%. But then I'm going to find all of the loads that are considered continuous, and I have to take that portion at 125%, and then what do? You add the two together. Make sense? So if you haven't watched our D-Rating Demystified, in about 2 weeks, we're actually recording version 3.0. So maybe you want to wait for that. But again, it's, still out there, so you can watch it. D-Rating Demystified. All right. So anyway, there's your answer right there. Okay. And by the way, that's the one for feeder. The one that's also the one that's for branch is, hold on here, is right here. So 210.19, here you see the same verbiage, right? Okay, 125% for continuous and not less than the non-continuous load, which means 100%, okay? So that's that one. And then to kind of round this thing out for everybody, just so you prove that I'm not lying to you, then you go back to 230, right? And then in 230, we're going to do under 230 right here, okay? And you start sizing here, all right? There's our load, everything here. And let's see here. Oh, that's clearances. I don't want clearances. I don't want to stay away from clearances. We're not going to talk clearances tonight. I ain't going to do all that kind of crap. And here is capacities and everything in here. And you're under service. And let's see here. I cannot see my screen for lack of squat. See my screen here. 40s for 220. Let's get past clearances. Yada, yada, yada means I'm getting past all that crap. All right. Get all past this crap. Sizing right here. All right. So when we get down into here, we start looking at, okay, size to carry the loads, protection, splices, service entrance conductors. Let's see here. Installation. So let's see. Here you go. All right. Minimum ampacities. All right. And then down here, right here, I don't know if you can see that right there. Down here, here's your general, minimum sizing, same as before. And right here, same rule, 125% for continuous, and of course 100% for the non-continuous. So it's in 210.19, it's in 215.2, and it's also here in 230.42. So same concept. Just remember, 125% for the continuous portion, 100% for the non-continuous portion. Make sense? Okay. There you go. All right. So let's go back to the question. Y'all are awesome. All right. And Chris says in the 2020, it's 215.3. Now let's see here, Chris. I'm actually in the 2020. And that is not true. 215.3, Chris, is for the overcurrent protection. So that would be the overcurrent. That's overcurrent protection. Okay, which is the same concept. But in our case, we're talking about conductors, right? So we're going to be in this one. That's all good, though. That's the beautiful thing about it. If you do the conductors or you're doing the overcurrent, it uses the same rules. So that just makes it easier to remember. So that's a beautiful thing. Easiest you can, that's my Martha Stewart reference. All right, let's go back to the lesson. And okay, so we want it to be what? Not less than 100% of the non-continuous plus 125% of the continuous. There you go. And there's your reference, 215.3. Oh, crap! Christopher! Even it's got 215.3. Even though we're basically, maybe the question, well, since it's talking about feeder, I'm thinking conductors. So guess what? Doesn't matter. But they're like you, they're thinking 215.3. Ha-ha! Does it say overcurrent? Does it? Oh, snap! Look at it. I'm about to eat Christopher Crow. Not to be confused with Christopher Cross, which is one of my favorite singers of all time. Okay? I love me some sailing. I'm just saying. But what did Paul do? Paul read the question and didn't pay attention to overcurrent devices. Don't give Paul his exam. Make him take it again. Pull his license away. All right. What is this? Paul, that horn is a hell of... Oh, your earbud. You got earbuds on? All right. Good job. Christopher, no bad. Stand your ground, brother. Stand your ground, brother. All right. Next question. But what is the good news is, doesn't matter. Okay. Next. Oh, crap. I don't even like these kind of clearance questions. All right, here we go. You ready? This is for Jesse. All right. The vertical clearance of communication cables over the rooftop, communication, shall be at least blank feet. So, let me do the timer before Michael jumps on me. All right, timer started. All right, so we're talking about what? All right, Matt's done. Did I say hey to Matt? Ackridge, I didn't say hey to you for coming in either. Matt, thanks for joining. I'm just doing that now because Jesse. All right, Magnuson. R. Magnuson is like really delayed. 690.11. All right, so we're so over that one, but he'll get it in probably whenever the delay comes back. All right. By the way, am I lagging anybody out there? Because I don't think I'm lagging. But anyway, all right. So look at this question. So let's identify it. Communication cable. And we're talking about vertical clearance. Okay? All right? So, yeah. R. Magnuson is really delaying there. His is really delayed. That's like an old question from who knows when. All right, so think about this. Timer's going, 59 seconds. Look at this question, folks. Look at this question. All right. Anybody see anything on it? Okay. Remember, this is a general question about communication cables. It's just a general question. It's not specific to CATV. It's not getting significant into the weeds. Remember, what happened in the 2020 code is that general requirements, and Michael's going to say I'm doing it again. I can't help it, Mike. So think of this as no different than general requirements for 300. This is general requirements for communication cable. And maybe that'll help you think of it better. A little different for you 2017 folks, okay? But for you 2020, 2023, think of it that way, okay? Oh, I got some references. Corbin's throwing them in here. Jose, which code cycle are you on? Chandler's throwing them in again. All right, timer's up. And so Tony's in the house. Tony, I didn't see you as well. This is again for Jesse. All right, people are starting to come in. It looks like, well, let's see here. All right, 2017. Okay, so it might be different in 2017, but should still be able to find the answer. And I'm not sure what y'all's answers are because not everybody's giving their choices. Tony is not giving me an answer. Christopher is giving me an answer. And so there we go. Jesse's giving me an answer. Okay. They're all rolling in. 8. Okay. All right. So let's dissect this. So this is talking about communication cables. We automatically know that that's going to be what? Communication cables are going to be in chapter 8. That's communication. We're specifically looking for clearances. So if I were to go to my index, for those that want to go to the index, and I'm looking under communication, all right, I'm going to go look real quick. Since we all have answers on the screen, everybody seems to be right on it. For those that are not familiar with it, I'm going to go in communications and see what I see in the back under communication and see if I see anything. I went too freaking far. All right, so I'm in the back of the index here and I'm looking to see if I see anything under, still didn't go far enough. All right, communication. All right, communication systems. Okay. And then I look down that one and I'm thinking, okay, the question's talking about clearances. Then I go down and see if I see anything to do with clearances. Okay. Communication circuits 800 and going down. And we're going to see if we see anything to do with clearances in here anywhere. Okay. And under communication, I don't think I see anything that talks about clearances. Does anything state anything about overhead? See anybody see any of that? Let me look here. There we go. Overhead wires and cables. So under communication system, there's overhead wires and cables. This is vertical clearances for communication over rooftops. So that's overhead wires and cables. There you go. Christopher nailed it. All right. So, okay, missing the rooftop. So Jose says he's wrong on that one. Ted says it would be 800.44b in the 2017. So again, it looks like it's the same. So let's go to the NEC. So we agree that it's communication. So if we agree that it's communication, that means we can save a lot of time here and just go right down to 800. Now, check this out. So this is for you 2020 folks and 2023 folks. Notice how you have 800. Notice this little N right here, new. So this is just new for general, okay? New for general. So, and you're down here, and you look down and you will see that again, overhead, y'all saw that was 44. Here it is right here, okay? And here's your clearances, all right? So we're looking at these clearances, and let's see here. We're looking for above rooftops right here. Y'all see that? Yep, make sure I'm on the screen. It says communication wires and cables and CATV type coaxial cables shall have a vertical clearance of not less than 8 feet from all points of roofs above which they pass. Okay, so that's the reference in the 2020 edition for 800.44. Okay, and you might have it in your edition. Van Man says it's 810. And Seraphim, I can't even remember if I'm saying that right. Seraphim. Welcome. For Jesse again, because he's got the earbuds in. All right. So there you go. Now, interesting, 810 would be radio and television in the 2020. Okay. So now if I were to go look at the 2017, since I have the ability to do it, if you don't have link, you don't have that ability. There you go in there in serious communication. And we're going to see in 800, okay, 844. So in the 2017, it was still 800.44. So whoever said 810, that was not correct. It was still 800.44 in the 2020, in the 2017, and chances are it's that as well in the 2023. Cool. All right, get back to the 2020. All right, so we're going back to our lesson. 8, and there's our reference, 800.44b. All right? All right, folks. Hey, y'all did great tonight. Reminder, next week, we are doing, mark your calendars. Mark them. We're going to do multi-family dwellings. Now, if you missed our one-family dwelling, go back and watch it, folks. We did a one-family dwelling, Unit 8 of the Fast Trax. It's available on our YouTube channel, still available. I haven't moved it yet over to Fast Trax Tube. All you got to do is go over to youtube.com/MastersNEC and look at the live streams. Click the live stream button, and you will see previous recordings, and just find the one that says Unit 8. It's 2 parts. One of them is the regular calculation, and then the other one is the neutral conductor calculation, okay? Oh, shit. No, I didn't, Jesse. But I got so busy. But for you, I'm doing this again into your earbuds. I'm going to write this down again, damn it, Jesse. I need new sounds. New sounds. Again, Jesse, the bearded one, reminds me. And I'm going to get one of flushing the toilet just for you, Jesse. All right. All right. Okay. Folks, I appreciate all of you. And hopefully this has helped some of you that are preparing for an exam and get your new sounds, no horns. This has been hopefully it's, I've fixed it, Dustin. The new one should be up and downloadable. I've already uploaded it. So go in there. It should be in your, in the 17. I've updated it. So it should be, the new one should be up there. Okay. All right. So everybody remember, next week, we're going to be looking at multifamily, walking through it. Hopefully you can join me next week, and I appreciate you all. Okay. What does this say? Michael says, thank you, Paul. I had fun as always. Get me when you want to stream together. Absolutely. I want to get with you so we can do something together. Hey, I want you all to realize something. I appreciate every one of you. When you send me questions, and sometimes I do yes, it'll be out of Unit 11. Absolutely. Yarel, thanks for coming. You'll be able to watch this on the restream, the review. Okay, the recording, because I am recording it. But I want y'all all to know that I appreciate y'all. Y'all have no idea how we appreciate you and the support and how you share with other people. That's the only way that we grow our company. I do not pay for advertising. I do not pay for clicks. It's people that learn the code, like our style, love our content, and realize that I'm here. Utilize the Sparky Hub, please. That's a platform I hope you use. Fast Trax chat, hope you use that. Use all the resources. Make sure you get our mobile app. It is free. Free. Make sure you get it. Where do you go to get it? That's free. I'll type it in here. www.neccchat.com. I put it in the chat. That's where you go to get the free app. Okay? neccchat.com. Or of course you can get it from our website as well. Okay. Also, Swartzy looks like he's going to put out another NFPA 72 test. Ah, nice. Also, over on the Sparky Hub, the forum, Michael has a bunch of questions over there. If you really want to do some work, and I know Ted has been over there, go over to the Sparky Hub. And if you're a Fast Track student and you're not in the special folder, reach out to me. But you first got to go register at the Sparky Hub. Once you register for an account, then reach out to me. Let me know what your username is, and I'll hook you up. But you can only be a Fast Track student, and trust me, we're going to validate it. Nobody's sneaking in, okay? All right. Folks, I appreciate you all. You have no idea. Hopefully you're learning. Prepare for next week. We're going to do multifamilies, and we're going to get into it deep. Till next time, folks. Appreciate you all. Stay safe. God bless.